All right, guys, I'm recording. Tonight is our second Zoom call for Coach Basic. So it's the second and the last. We only do 2 calls for this training. And you guys are doing absolutely fantastic with each day's assignment. I know it can kind of be a struggle with everything else, trying to keep track of Coach Basics and the team page and this and talking to people and posting on Facebook. I totally understand it can kind of be very overwhelming, but you guys have really done an amazing job keeping up with it. And, I saw a lot of you guys were playing catch up on the weekend, which is absolutely fine, especially, most of you guys work Monday through Friday. So catching up on the weekend is a great time to get that done. So for tonight, I definitely want to go over Facebook because I think that is the biggest thing that grew my business, and probably the same thing for Rachel. And I definitely wanted to go over challenge groups, how to get them started, how to invite. So I'm just going to kind of jump right in and kind of talk about everything Facebook. Pretty much the basic things that you need to have down. And I'm pretty sure all this stuff we did cover in Coach Basics, but I want to make sure that you guys have this down. So Facebook, you need to be aware of what time you post. So the timing of your posts are very, very important. So peak time, so when I mean peak, it means the highest time that people are on. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Let me just pull it up. Okay. So if you're on your desktop, if you scroll on the right-hand side, see where I'm scrolling, like you see all your friends, and then you see it says more friends, and it'll have a number in that parentheses. You want to be tracking this number consistently. Whenever you're on, you just want to be looking at that number, because the higher that number is, means the more people are on at that time, and that's a great time to post. So for example, if I had where it said only 30 more friends and it only said 30, that would be a really, really bad time for me to post, because not that many people were on there. But I know that typically for me, like a really good time is like when I get to like 120, 130, 150. Like now it's an okay time. But just by keeping track, you'll kind of see the time that your friends are on the most. Because if you post something and only 30 people are on, it might go up in the news feed, but if no one comments, likes, or shares it right away, it's going to fall right off. So Facebook actually uses like an equation, like a formula, and I forget what they call it. But they use that formula in order to say, is this post going to go up on the news feed? How long is this post going to stay on the news feed? So your timing of your post is definitely very, very relevant to whether it goes on the news feed and how long it stays on there for. So typically the high times are 9 a.m., noon, and pretty much like right now from like 8 to 9:30. But it really depends on who your friends are. Like if you're friends with a lot of teachers, you might have a lot of people on at 7 a.m. because everyone's getting up, getting ready. If you're a mom, you might have a lot of mom friends that just had babies or have, little kids. Their high time might be at nap time. So maybe like 1, 2, 3. I don't know when nap time is. So that's why I say everyone's a little bit different, but definitely keep an eye on this friends number. And then you can also look on your phone in the same place. It's like you'll see like a little person in the top right-hand corner on your phone for Facebook. Just click it and scroll down a little bit and you'll see where it says more friends. So always just kind of keep checking that number to see when your high times are and to post then. Try and post at least 3 times per day. I know I still have some difficulty with this as well, especially if you have a like page, especially if you're trying to do Instagram as well. So 3 posts, why 3 posts? And that's why I gave you guys that 9, noon, and nighttime times to be posting. Just because if you're not out there, if people are not seeing you, and what I mean by you is like seeing your face, like, I know this is Erica, she's drinking her shake. awesome. And I'll show you guys some example of some bad posts and some good posts. What Erica posted, that was a good post because I see it's her. So if I'm seeing you consistently on a daily basis, I know, number one, you're showing up. Number two, if you're inviting me to a challenge group or you're inviting me to this coaching thing and I don't see you on Facebook, I don't see that you're active, I don't see like what this whole challenge group thing is all about, then am I really going to join you? I don't know. Am I going to form trust that way? So by doing those 3 posts per day, you're really just building trust and building that reliability and that consistency for people to kind of see you over and over and over. If you've been kind of diving into GoPro, I forget like the exact wording that he says, but people need to see you or hear from you, not just once, not just twice. It can take up to 10 times for people to actually be like, yeah, I want to join you. So that's why, like, I know in the beginning of Coach Basics, we had you kind of write out your story, and some of you were like, well, I already wrote out my story. I already posted it on Facebook. And I'm like, no, you need to do it again. You need to post your story on Facebook over and over and over and over, because sometimes it goes up on the news feed and not many people see it. So you're always going to have different people seeing it. You're going to be growing your network because you're adding 5 people per day on Facebook. So you're getting new people in that didn't see your story. And number 3, you really want to be saying so many, like giving people little itty bitty pieces of your story at a time. So not even like chapter by chapter, maybe like page by page. That way, and that's how you build trust, you build relationships that way. You know, people get to know you. You know, someone posted, I think it was Sammy Jackson posted in our page on Facebook, where like I think it was like a complete stranger. She was at a baby shower and someone walked up to her and they're like, I totally follow you on Facebook. I love what you post. And she's like, I have no idea who you are. But this lady was watching her. Maybe she didn't like on any of her posts. She didn't comment, but people are watching you. So be consistent. Post 3 times a day. Even if you get crickets, people are watching you. And you want to form, you know, Sam has that relationship with that person that she never even talked to, but that person feels like she's involved in her life. You know, it's like, wow, like me and Sam are friends, not just on Facebook, but I know like what's going on in her life. So post 3 times per day. If you're new at posting on Facebook, and I don't think a lot of you are, that's on the call right now, you know, just post once every day. You know, work your way up. Don't get overwhelmed with like, oh my God, like sweating it out. And you're like, I have to do 3. Rose told me I need to do 3. And then like do a generic Beachbody post. Don't do that. If you can only post 1, that's okay. And then maybe every other day, post 2. And then maybe in 2 or 3 weeks, you can do 3 posts every other day. So, you know, this is just about working your way up, not doing everything at once, but doing everything kind of like piece by piece. So I know I've said, I'll show you guys some Beachbody no-nos in posts. So this is great, what Aileen posted. Recipes, mac and cheese, showing people what you're doing, what you're eating, because, you know, a lot of people love seeing or just like posting about working out because it can be easy, but people don't necessarily see what you're eating, or people don't necessarily see the coaching opportunity. Those are things that you want to be posting about. Love this with Chris Ann. I see her face. I don't see Autumn. I'm just going to scroll until I find something that screams, ah. Now, with Krista, she posted motivation. So if you want to do a motivational quote in the morning, I think that's great. But what I would suggest to do, instead of just saying happy Monday or whatever, like have it relate to something that you're going through. So maybe Krista could have made this a little bit better by saying, you know, that she gets stuck, comparing herself, you know, to people in magazines, but lately she's been doing some personal development and she realized that she's never gonna, she's one of a kind, whatever. You want it to relate back to a story. You're telling people stories on Facebook with your post. So you don't want to just be like, here's a motivational quote and just kind of throw it up. You want it to have meaning that people can kind of relate to. So you want to kind of tell a little bit of a story if you're going to be posting a motivational quote. I'm just looking for a Beachbody stock photo. But I don't see any, which is good because all I really see is our team's photos. But what I mean by a Beachbody stock photo, if you guys don't know, so if I see this on someone's Facebook as a post, don't do that. Like, that is just screaming, please buy from me. I'm trying to sell you something. And that is completely what we do not want to do. So if you do this, just don't do it anymore. I think I've done it. Rachel's done it. I think every one of our coaches has done it, just because in the beginning you have no idea. You kind of don't know any better. So you are yourself. You want to be you on Facebook. We don't want to be Autumn. We don't want to be Shailene. We want to be Rose. We want to be Rachel. We want to be Pam. We don't want to be anyone else because we can't be anyone else. We're ourselves, and that's what makes this business so great, is that everyone's different. Everyone's going to relate to somebody different. So just don't do those stock Beachbody photos. Rachel, you're up. I'll let you go before I take up the whole 30 minutes.
I definitely want to reiterate what Rose said about people seeing your face. I know I was super shy when I first started, and I had like this unspoken rule about selfies. Like, you just don't take selfies. It's weird. And getting into Beachbody and learning about how this business works, people need to be able to connect you to the products in order to feel like they can do it themselves. And so I definitely put up stock photos when I first started. I would try to take a picture of myself, like holding a program or something like that. And I mean, that's just what you do when you first start out, but understand that there are definitely better ways to do it. For example, if you want to post one of those motivational quotes, take a random picture of you doing a workout move and use a photo app and post the quote over the top of the picture of you. You can totally, I've done it where, like, I hate the way I look in the mornings. And so if I work out in the morning, then I'll just kind of blur out a picture of myself where you can't really tell what I look like, but it's me. And then you put a quote over the top of it. And that becomes, it's something original that you made and it stands out, but it's going to catch people's eye because it's not this typical photo with a picture with a quote on it. It's something more original. When you're posting on Facebook, you also want to think about what's going to catch people's eye. So in the same way that we always suggest that you put a picture with your post, think about what's going to make someone want to read your post. So if you take yourself out of, like, before you started Beachbody and you're just scrolling through Facebook, like, what usually made you stop? It wasn't like a super long post. It was something general. You probably didn't usually stop to hear people complain. You wanted to hear something positive. And so the best thing that I can suggest is making your first, I tell people it's just like when you were in school and they talk about how you need to make your first paragraph. Is my internet messed up?
It's stopping, but we can hear you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, we're good.
So, you know how when you were writing like essays for school and they would tell you, make your first paragraph and tell people what you're going to tell them and get a good catching sentence, blah, blah, blah. If you do that with your Facebook post, then people are more likely to stop and read the rest of your post. So I don't know off the top of my head, but just, I mean, you get the idea though. If you're going to write a post about losing weight, then maybe you can say, holy crap, I can't believe I can fit into these pants again. And then people are going to be like, what? Like, what? Why? I want to know more. But if you're just like, well, today I'm going to go to yoga class, and everybody's like, what a scroll, you know, make it something that people want to stop and check out what you're doing. So there are tons of ways, like we talk about, making some of your words in all caps, throw in some icons, some emojis, make your picture something that people are going to stop on. Just do something that's going to really catch people's attention, because you don't want people to get tired of you posting. And you're not worried. I don't mean that you're worried about what other people are thinking of you, but you want people to actually stop and check out what you're posting. And so make it something that catches their eye. And also, I think I talk about this a lot with my new coaches. The longer your post is, the more interesting the beginning of it needs to be in order to keep people's attention throughout. And so I usually suggest for my new coaches, keep your post short. If I know personally I'm long-winded. I always post really long, but I make myself type out my post and then go back through and take out details that don't really matter, so that you can condense it down. Because most of the time people are on Facebook on their phones and they're waiting for dinner or watching TV or something like that, and they're not going to sit down and read a ton of text. So find a way to tell your story in a condensed version, and as you gain a following, you can make your posts longer. I know for a lot of the top coaches, since they've been in this for 3 or 4 years, they tell really long stories, but they also talk about in their trainings, if you go back and look at the beginning, most of their posts were smaller because they didn't have like a loyal following. But now, like I know personally, I love Tara Carr and all of her stories. And anytime she posts something really long, I immediately want to read it because I know her stories are usually really good. For the most part, if you're a new coach, you don't have that rapport with people yet. And so you need to try to keep your posts shorter. So that's what I've got.
No, that was great, Rachel, what you brought up with, like people are on their newsfeed. They're scrolling, and you need to do something to make them stop. So, you know, it doesn't have to be like a perfect post with like perfect like period and exclamation point. Make those exclamation points go like crazy and like do yes with like 10 million S's. Silly things like that. I know like it's like grammar, but that really, you know, people just talk like how you speak too. That was a good tip that I got once. Talk how you speak because it's going to sound like you know, it's not like someone's grading you on an English paper and you need to have correct punctuation and everything. I don't know if we went over this in Coach Basics yet. It might be this week. No, I think we did. You know, when you're thinking about the post that you want to do on Facebook, think of like 5 subjects that you can talk about. So obviously health and fitness, nutrition, your dog, your kid, your husband, your spouse, you know, if you like crafting or scrapbooking, or if you're a new mom to be, or if you like traveling, if you're a nurse, you know, if you're a teacher. I can kind of go on and on. So, but pick 5 things that you can kind of rotate. And I think even this has been helpful for coaches too, is have like a Facebook scheduler. So in a notebook or just on an Excel sheet or Word, just say, all right, on Monday, 9 a.m., I'm going to do my workout post. At noon, I'm going to do a picture of my lunch. At, 8 o'clock at night, I'm going to post a picture of me and my family on Saturday. and this is a good tip too, is you don't always have to post something that happened right now, because sometimes what happens right now is not that very interesting. You could always make it interesting though. But I always save pictures from the weekend. So if I'm like, oh, like this would be a great picture, I'll just take it and I'll save it for later. Or, you know, if you're going on vacation, like use those vacation posts. Like you can use those things over and over and over, and you're just telling a story. So you don't have to be like, oh, well, this is, you know, this happened right now. No, it's okay. Like people know that it was from, you know, the Success Club cruise or whatever. But that's just a good way to keep people interested, but not hearing the same thing over and over, with you planning it out day by day. And then it also helps you kind of just know where you're at by planning, and just like you're planning and food prepping, you're kind of like Facebook prepping beforehand. So you know what you're going to be posting. Let's see. If you need help with like inspiration for Facebook, you can definitely follow other coaches. Rachel mentioned Tara Carr. She's really, really great. I think she just had her second or third baby. But every coach you're going to kind of relate to differently. So if you're looking for a mom figure, military figure, Tara Carr is your person. If you're looking for a newlywed person, who would I go with? Colleen Eddy. Or me. I'm not really newlywed. But so everyone, just like everyone's going to relate differently to you, you're going to relate to different coaches. So find like one or two coaches that you like to follow. Don't copy them, but you can get ideas or inspiration from them. So sometimes when I'm stuck, like I hate when I keep, like I make a post and it's like the same first sentence for the post. I'm like, I got to change up my wording. I'll go to another coach that I follow and just kind of get their wording, and then I'll be able to kind of do the rest. It's kind of like writer's block. If I have like that one first couple words, then the rest of it kind of works for me. So use another coach for inspiration, not to copy from them, because we want you're the most important thing in the equation, obviously. Okay. So do we have any questions with kind of like Facebook posting? Anything that you went over with Facebook? Or Cindy, you're not a brand new coach, but do you have anything that you think would be valuable?
I don't know. Pretty much what you've said. I think the biggest thing my problem is using the stock photos. But I've learned that's a big no-no. I learned also that you get more attention on your posts whenever you make it very personal. You throw yourself out there. Don't be afraid to do that. I actually have to push myself further. I think pushing yourself out of your comfort zone is definitely what's going to get people's attention, because they will get to know you more for sure. But like I said, that's what I have to work on too. So.
No, that was a great point. I mean, I think we all can work on that. I think it's definitely hard to be vulnerable, but that's what people want to see. When people see, a lot of times I'm reading a really great book, and I can't remember the name right now, Daring Greatly. If you ever watch Oprah or know Oprah, she's really big with I forget the author of that, but in Daring Greatly, they talk about being vulnerable and how your perception of you being vulnerable equals you being weak, whereas other people's perception of you being vulnerable means that they can trust you. So don't look at it as you being vulnerable as you being weak. Look at it as you're sharing your story with someone, you're helping someone, and that's going to create that trust with other people. And I think even getting out your story sometimes frees you too, it kind of helps you become a better person at the same time. So thanks for that, Cindy. That was a good thing that you pointed out.
Yeah, I have a couple of things to add. I definitely can tell a huge difference. I always get more attraction to my page whenever I post something vulnerable. And what I can tell you, the best way to approach that is something that you're really self-conscious about, something that you feel like is maybe a character flaw or something you don't like about yourself or something you feel like you don't do well, try posting about it. I know, like Rose and I have talked about a ton. When I'm getting frustrated, I feel like I can't like keep our house clean and be like a good wife and blah, 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 and run my business. And so I'll actually make a post about that. And I'll say like, you know, there are tons of dishes in the sink and the laundry's not done and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But I know it's important to me or something, and make it relate back to your business. But what you think that you're not good at, people can relate to. So those are always good post ideas. And like Rose said, like it makes people trust you more. But it helps people be able to see that you're not perfect. So sometimes I think as coaches, we feel like we need to like work out all the time and eat perfectly healthy. And I mean, I do get likes and comments on posts of healthy recipes, but I get a ton of reaction when I say like sometimes you just need a cookie, you know, and that's because people can relate to that. And that doesn't mean that you're encouraging them to be unhealthy or go off of the lifestyle path, and it doesn't mean that you're not doing your job. It just means that you're human, and people need to be able to see that, because nobody's going to feel like they can be led by somebody who does things right all the time, because that's not real life, and they feel like they need to live up to that, and nobody ever will. So post when you feel like you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Post about it and turn it into a positive, and people will respond to it. And the other thing I wanted to show you guys, I hope you can see it. This is my passion planner, and I don't know if you can tell, but I have 5 different sections, and this is what I post about. So if you can you see it at all?
Yeah, we can see a little bit of it.
Okay, so I have 5 different things. I post about my dog Zoe, and I post about being married, food, working out, and my faith. Those are my 5 like overarching topics. And what I did is I just threw them on some paper, but underneath them I I wrote down things that relate to those. So those are my 5 big themes. But for example, anytime I'm posting about my dog Zoe, I don't have to just post a picture of her and say, oh my gosh, I love my dog. You know, I can post about like she's going through training right now, and I've found a lot to dog training and being a leader. And so I post about those kinds of things. I post about lessons that I've learned from my dog, about being more patient, blah, blah, blah. How it's important to play and to get outside and exercise. Like, you get the point. So just because we say, like, pick your 5 things, there are tons of different post ideas that you can make from those. So I suggest figure out your 5 themes, what really describes you, and then go ahead and start brainstorming some different types of posts that you could make from that, so that you don't feel like you're constantly posting about the same thing. And the best way to make sure that you're posting those 5 things and you're posting about yourself is to think about your business as you have to make your own brand. So if you went to your Facebook page right now and looked at your last 5 posts, would people be able to figure out what kind of person you are and what you're interested in? Because typically your last 5 posts should be a mix of those things that we just talked about. So if you went to my page, you should see a post about Zoe, possibly one of me and my husband, something about my faith, something about working out. You should see those in what I've just recently posted, so that if somebody went to your page, they could see what your brand is and they could immediately relate to you. So that's a good kind of gut check, is to be able to go back to your Facebook page and see if you're really posting about what you want people to see about you. So.
Great. And then I would also say too is with your post, you kind of want to do what's called like a jab, jab, right hook. So it's a book. write it down. It's called Jab, Jab, Right Hook. If you're having trouble with coming up with posts or timing or kind of what order to put them in, it's important. The algorithm, that's what Facebook does. The Facebook algorithm, that's their little equation. And he kind of talks you through like little jabs would be you posting your recipe for your dinner, then your workout in the morning, and then your hook would be join my challenge group. So you're giving people a little jab, 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 and then a right hook. So what Rachel was kind of saying, my mind blanked out like 5 seconds ago, but now I remember, was when people are going to your page, do they know you're a coach? Do they know you run challenge groups? And do they know they can join you? So you want to make sure that you get that covered when, you know, people go to your page. Make sure that's in like those top 5 posts. Do they know you're a coach? Do they know you run challenge groups? And do they know they can join you? But that Jab, Jab, Right Hook is a really, really great book. And it talks not only about Facebook, but also talks about Instagram, Pinterest, and other social media on how to use it for businesses as well. And last thing I'll say about posting on Facebook is another great way to not just get likes, but to get comments or shares is to ask a question of people. People love to give you feedback. So if you're deciding between should I go blonde or brown or highlights or this, you can do, and you've probably seen maybe some of the coaches do this, but you know, we'll have A, B, C, or D. Tell me which one you like best. Or I did one before the cruise, like I had 2 dresses and I said, which one should I wear for the formal dinner, A or B? And you'll get like, you'll get a ton of people commenting, right? So that's going to be your jab, because when people comment, that adds to that Facebook algorithm that your next post coming up is going to go higher on the news feed and stay up there longer. So that's a good jab. So after you get a lot of likes or comments for your question that you asked, your next post should be an invitation to your challenge group or to the business opportunity. And that's kind of what that Jab, Jab, Right Hook book is about too. So asking a question in your post, telling people what to do in your post. Like this post if you like ice cream, or share this if you know someone that can use help with getting a stain out of their laundry. I don't know. I'm just coming up with stuff. Comment. I do this all the time for the recognition. Comment below if you know Rachel and congratulate her on being a 5-star diamond. So tell people what to do and people will do it. You need to direct people on Facebook. So questions, tell them what to do, ask for advice. All those things are really, really good. All right. Any questions, comments?
I have a comment.
Sure.
Something that Rose actually brought up to me, she did like a little judge my page kind of thing before, and it really helped me a lot. I had a bunch of junk on my page. So try to clean up your page, because I have actually had people that visited my page and later messaged me or something and said, hey, I'm interested in what you're doing. I actually had one Saturday right before Super Saturday. And it just goes to show that I've never heard of this lady. I've never met this lady. I don't know anything about her. I don't think she's ever commented on any things, but she messaged me because she was interested. And it's because she saw my post and probably went to my page. And I've actually had people doing that. So clean up your page of anything that doesn't have anything retained with Beachbody or your own personal life. Anything like, I know we share recipes or things from other people, like just take those out, because it leads the attention away from you. And that's really helped me out a lot, I think. So yeah, that's it.
Great point. Yeah. Ask your upline, be like, hey Danielle, do you mind looking at my page and seeing what I need to improve on? So what Cindy was talking about is sometimes you'll share another coach's post, or you'll share something else from another Facebook page. But what that is showing on your newsfeed is just showing someone else's post. So if you like that post and want to share it with your friends, just make it your own. Get a new picture, You can kind of get the idea to use the post, but don't just click share because it just gives credit to that other person, which is cool, but you're growing a business. Also, your Facebook page or your Facebook profile picture should be a picture of you so that when you do post on the newsfeed, it's so tiny on your phone. But when we see your face, we know it's you. I know lately, I think like a lot of people, I think a cop died in New Jersey. So people have like the New York, or not New York, like the New Jersey police as their profile pic. But which is great, but when I see that on the newsfeed, I have no idea who it is unless I look at the name, and I'm scrolling like 5 seconds, so fast, I don't catch that. So it's important to just have your face as your profile picture. Okay, we're going to transition now into challenge groups and how to do an event invite, which is really super simple. So I'm just going to share my screen with you guys again. And I do this all from my Facebook on my computer. If you try and do it on your phone, it honestly, it's just too hard to do. Get a computer, use it as a business expense write-off if you don't have a good computer that can kind of keep up with you. Anyway, so for my challenge groups, when I want to invite people, obviously I'm making a post about it. Obviously, I'm reaching out to people about it that were interested or commented or even liked my post. I'll reach out to them. But the biggest way that I've been able to get people into my challenge groups is making an event invite. So all you do is click on events, click on create, and then you can create an event photo. I like to use PicMonkey, and that's online. It's not an app. You just go to picmonkey.com. It is free, but what I like about them is you can choose the right sizing for your event photo, because sometimes, or what is, the sizing of each picture, like for your Facebook page and then for a Facebook event page, those picture sizes are different. So, you just want to look professional. If your photo is like half cut off, it looks kind of, it doesn't look too professional. So upload your event photo. Event name, Strong for Spring, Strong for Summer, Fixin' for Summer, whatever you want it to be. Location, I always put like in your own home, in your living room, so people know it's an at-home workout. You put the date. I always say you want to do 2 weeks ahead. So today is April 4th. If you guys haven't picked out your challenge group date yet, I would say like April 18th or April 25th. Are pretty good dates. It gives you enough time to kind of get people's orders in, to invite people, to talk to people. And we always start on Mondays, just everyone, Mondays are a brand new start. Description. I put what I use, and I pretty much use the same thing for like a year or two straight. I put it in our Coach Basics group in the file section. So you'll have the exact description. You can copy paste and put it right in there. So I'll show you guys, and then you just click create, and then you can also see where up here you can make it private or public. Make it public just because anyone that sees that you create the event can join it too. So that just means that more people can come to your event. When you make it private, only the people that you invite can actually see it and join. But when you click create, then you click each person that you want to invite. You can invite up to 400 people. If you have over 400 Facebook friends, add 400 people to your invitation. It's just more people that can possibly say yes and join your group. So this is one that I created. This is my Strong for Spring. So I used PicMonkey for this photo. I did a before and after picture of me. One-on-one support, nutrition tips, easy planning, tone and tighten, 30 days, 30 minutes. You can do a challenge group that's either program specific, so maybe just all 21 Day Fix, or maybe all size, or maybe all 22 hardcore. Or what I've kind of found now is that people kind of like to do a little bit of everything, because not everyone's going to be great for the 21-day fix. Not everyone's going to be great for size, but I can still run a 30-day group focusing on working out and focusing on nutrition. Those two things are going to stay the same. So it's okay if you have people doing different programs in your group. So this is what I posted for the description of the group, and I put that right in our Coach Basics group in the file section so you can use it. But what you can do in an event invite is post each day about little things about your group. Number one, it will pop up in their notifications each day. So even if they don't click join your group, they'll get a notification that you posted in the group. Number two, it's going to give them more information, and maybe something like a before and after picture from someone on our team is going to be like, oh wow, like I couldn't relate to Rose, but I can definitely relate to her. Like I can totally understand where she's coming from. Or maybe they see a recipe and they're like, wow, like I can actually eat this on the 21-day fix. Or maybe they see a Shakeology recipe and they're like, wow, that actually looks really good. Maybe I do want to try that crazy shake that I'm talking about. Or that recipe is really good. Or that before and after picture. So every day I either do a before and after picture, I'll do a recipe or Shakeology recipe. I'll put my own photos. I'll talk. I kind of talked about my journey, my story as well. I do this up until the day that the event is going on. So I'll do this for pretty much 2 weeks straight. Maybe on the weekends I won't do it. But when people either click like or comment, I always reach out to them, of course. But if they click, this will say join, but this is a past event. Or if they click maybe, I will always reach out to them. I'll say, hey, Lisa, thanks for clicking on my event invite. Can you tell me why you're interested? I don't say, oh my God, yay, you're going to do the 21-day fix. It's $140. It comes with the whoa, you didn't even say hi to me yet, you know? So make sure when you're reaching out to these people, follow the conversations like we kind of talked about last week. Use the Go Pro method and just listen to them. Talk more about them, ask them questions, and less about you and less about the 21-day fix and everything else that goes with it. That can come later, but you want to focus on them first. So this is how I invite to my challenge groups. I obviously also, message people that said yes to my previous group and didn't end up joining. So I always have a running list of those people that I add. Rachel, do you have anything to add for challenge groups?
I have personally not tried an event invite yet. I think this month is going to be my first one. I actually have had a lot of luck with call to action posts. So just, making a cool graphic and actually posting about what you're going to be doing in your challenge group. That has worked really well for me. And this month I've been sending tons of personal invites too. And I just wanted to share what I did is I just threw a quick little script into my phone. And I have done mass messages of people, this is important, people that I already have a relationship with. So I didn't just mass message like 200 random people and say, hey, come join my challenge group. These are people that I have relationships with, and I just sent out a message, something like this. And I just said, hey, girl, I'm hosting a private group in April, and I thought of you. So right there, single somebody out. And let them know that you were thinking of them. Not, I'm having a group and I'm looking for people to join. That's not personal. But I'm hosting a group and I thought of you, says you're important to me. And then I just finished it off with a group of us will be working out at home and taking control of our nutrition for 30 days. Is that something you would be interested in? So always end with a question. Give them the opportunity to answer you instead of saying, you should join us. Something like that, that's very closed, and it doesn't give people the opportunity to message you back. So every time you send a message to someone, you should end it with a question so that there is an opportunity for them to answer back. And the most important thing is continue to follow up. So if you invite someone and you ask them, would you be interested? Do you want to join my challenge group? Something like that. And they don't say anything. Don't just ignore them, because what that says to them is you threw out a quick message and, you randomly saw their name on your friends list or something. You threw out a message and you didn't really care whether they said yes or no. So don't think that it's annoying to continue to follow up with people. If they don't say anything, 2 days later, go back and say, hey girl, I'm not sure if you saw my last message or not, but I wanted to know if you were interested in joining my challenge group. Still nothing. Then I typically, after a few, crickets, then I'll say, hey, sounds like it's probably not a very good time for you right now. Do you mind if I follow up with you next month? And typically they'll either say, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, I'm really busy. Now's not a good time. Or they'll say yes, or they'll not say anything at all. And that's okay too, because I still keep them on my list and I still keep asking them, because eventually people are either going to reply to you because you keep messaging them, or they're going to say, no, I'm not interested, which is fine. And you can leave them alone for a little while and they may come back 6 months later and decide that they want to join you. But the biggest thing is to not get discouraged if you don't hear anything or if you hear a no, because it's just another person to add to your list who may come back up at another time.
And another good way that you can word that too is if you reach out to someone and you ask them a question and they don't answer, and you're like, what happened? I was just talking to you and now for 3 days you haven't replied back. You can say, hey, this happens to me all the time. I'm in the car and I read something and then I forget. So you're kind of letting them off the hook. Did you get a chance to whatever. So just kind of take them off the hook of saying, yeah, I totally am so busy. I read something and I totally forget to reply. So it's okay. Cause we see that it says read at whatever. And you're like, I know they saw it, but we honestly get so busy. I do it sometimes too. I'm like, crap, I totally forgot to message somebody. Cindy, do you have anything that you want to add for challenge groups?
Yeah, adding to what you said about starting the challenge group on Monday, that's when people are pretty pumped to get started. It's a new day, it's a new week. What I like to do, and I've actually got this from Nicole, my upline, is opening the group on Wednesday. We feel like opening the group on Monday and giving them a whole week to prep kind of bores them maybe. So maybe opening it on Wednesday, give them a few days, tell them what's going to happen, what you expect from them, and then saying, okay, guys, Sunday we're going to prep for food and, who's ready, and then Monday start off with a workout. Because just opening up on Monday, we've noticed that it just kind of bores everybody. They've seen what we have to say and stuff on there, and they're just like, okay, I'm bored now, nothing's happening. So that's just something that I thought has helped us too.
No, that's good. I'll do, say it's for April 4th, I'll start it last Wednesday and kind of say, did you open up your package? And and that's a good point too, is there are challenge group, what's the word I'm looking for? Let me share my screen. In your Coach Online office, there is word by word challenge group posts that you can do in your challenge group. Let me do one more. Here we go. All right. So if you're in your Coach Online office and you go to sales and marketing and then go to challenge group tools, click on that. And then you'll see challenge group guides. Click on that. And then there will be, let's do 21-day fix. And there is daily coaching guide. So this will tell you what to do for your challenge group. Prep week. Welcome everyone. Before pictures and measurements, schedule your workout. So it pretty much tells you day 1, do this, day 2. All right, we're starting. Day 1, total body cardio. You know, I would say if you're a beginner, obviously you want to do a challenge group with your upline, with another coach. I don't suggest starting one all by yourself. So if you're not partnered up with somebody, let me know or let your upline know to buddy up. And you can definitely, like, I know I let my coaches use everything for my challenge group, and maybe 1 or 2 days you're stuck on, like, I don't know what to post. You can pull from this. I don't suggest using this for every single day because it's not very personal, but if you need some ideas and you're kind of stuck and in a rush, I think these are really good things that can help you. And there is also the challenge group app that they just came out with. If you haven't watched the video on that yet, it's pretty awesome. So instead of making a challenge group on Facebook, you can use the app. And I've had to learn, this is my first day actually using the app was today. My last month's group, I didn't use it. But if you just go to your English library, and on this first page, my challenge tracker coach portal tutorial. Click on that and it will tell you exactly how to use the Challenger app. So you can either do the group on Facebook or you can use the Challenger app. You kind of have to start somewhere. I was kind of scared to use the Challenger app just because, like anything new, it's kind of like awkward, weird. I don't want to change. I don't want to do something different, but you just gotta do it, learn it, and you'll be good. But if you do want to do your group on Facebook, if you don't know how to open up a group yet, just go back to your home page on Facebook, and then you'll see groups down here. So say you have 5 people joining your challenge group. It's Wednesday night, and you're going to create your – Janelle Summers. She's an awesome, awesome coach to follow, so you might actually like to follow her. Anyways, so to create your challenge group, just click on Create Group. Group name, Strong for Summer members. I would add, like, if you're co-hosting with another coach, put their name in first. Just add them because you want to add maybe some files in the group. So maybe you want to add how to take before and after pictures. Maybe you want to add some 21-day fix recipes. Add stuff in the file section first, and then add the rest of your challengers in there. That way they're not getting like a million notifications of recipes that you just added. And then also you want to click on secret, not closed. Secret means that only people in the group can see the post, and only people in the group know that they're in the group. If you do closed, other people will know that they're in the group, but they can't see it. But I always say challenge groups do secret because everything you want it to be private. Click create, and then you have created your challenge group. That's only if you're doing it on Facebook. If you're using the app, follow the video that they have in the Coach Online office. All right, whew, almost 9 o'clock. Any comments, questions, concerns, anything you guys want to add or ask? No, we're all good? Okay, I see everyone nodding their head. Okay, thanks everyone for joining tonight. I'll be posting this if you didn't catch everything. We are going to continue on with the group. I think this is the last week, right, Rachel? And then after that, if you are Emerald, we always have our Emerald to Diamond training starting the first Monday of the month. So in May, we'll be starting that group. So if you're not Emerald yet, don't worry. You have plenty of time to get there if you want to do the next training after the Coach Basics. Always, our trainings always start the first Monday of every single month. So if you're like, when is it? First Monday of every month. All right, guys, have a good night. We'll see you in the group. Bye. Thanks for joining.